Hey everybody, happy Friday. It is There's No Crying in Crochet, the podcast where we take everyday crochet frustrations and we help you with some solutions as much as possible. So this month, we're not going to get into that yet. Let me first say I'm so out of sync because we've been gone for so long. But hi, I'm Biz from Bizzy Crochet, and this is my cohort.
And I'm Debbie from Madam Stitch.
Yes, and we are super happy to have you here today. Make sure that you say hi in the chat. We do have, I know that the chat's already kind of got some things in it. I just want to explain what that is real quick. Today we're going to be discussing as the last part of our April uh, subject. Here we go. Our April subject has been, eco-friendliness, ways that we can be more eco-conscious as crocheters. So there are a couple of links, one to Madam Stitch or Debbie's website, and one to a not podcast. What is that called? Blog post that I'm telling you, people, this has been a week. A blog post about
This is gonna be
reusable
an interesting
crochet.
episode.
Oh, God bless us. So, yes, so we're gonna just have some fun, but Deb, tell me what's your week been like?
Oh my gosh. There's just
There's
it just seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know. The biggest news that we have is that my daughter has been looking for a house to move basically into our neighborhood because we just, the family wants to kind of all congregate together and support each other. And
Oh,
she's kind of the
nice.
last piece of the puzzle. So we've been spending every weekend looking at houses for a while. She finally got one. She's in the process of getting all of the stuff in place to move. And so,
That's
yay.
awesome.
So, but now her anxiety is going to be heightened because the now she has to deal with the bank. And
Yes, yes.
you know, we're all used to being homeowners, but she's never been one. She's been in an apartment since she graduated from college, and so this is going to be a new experience for her.
Oh,
But
that's
she'll only be
exciting.
a mile away, so
That's
we
super
can
exciting.
walk over there. Yeah, it's going to be
Oh
great.
my
That's the big
gosh.
news.
That is
Also,
awesome.
the second grandson has started Little League in earnest. We have this fabulous tradition where when they're on a weeknight, I
Uh,
pack a dinner for me, my husband, my son, and his wife, and we eat sandwiches while we watch the game. It's so much
fun.
fun.
Oh
Everybody
gosh.
there is really jealous of us because we have food and, last I know, right? And last Saturday morning was it was right during my breakfast time, I'm sorry. So I brought lemon poppy muffins. I mean, so we're
Wow.
enjoying food and baseball and
Mhm.
the nice weather and all of that kind of stuff. Biz,
That is
what's up with
awesome.
you? What's up with
Jealous of
you?
your week.
What's up with you?
Oh gosh. So, I know that we had kind of brought up, I don't know if I've told it, I can't remember what's been said on this thing. So Tony had a cyst on his shoulder and we've been working that out, and we still haven't gone to the dermatologist just yet. He's still on antibiotics, responding really, really well. The cyst has shrunk so much. And so that is in the wings if if it doesn't go away. Other than that, we've just been really busy helping our church move into their new building that will culminate in finally getting to have our first service there this Sunday. We've been exhausted. I'm back to fasting because I've been eating too much. My body's been getting dragged out and I've not been, functioning well. So all the
I
drama.
hear ya. I know.
So yeah, I'm on water today, but I'm telling you what, I'm having pizza for supper because there is, I don't know if it's a chain or if it's other places, but we have a place in town called Lost Pizza Company. And it is
Mm.
so good. It is just the yummiest pizza, and they do one called a Pit Boss, which is our favorite. So
Oh.
they take pulled pork, and we like it on a thin crust. The thick crust is just a little too much food, but the thin crust, so there's pulled pork, there's onions, there's barbecue sauce, and then they've got cheddar cheese on it. It is so ridiculously good.
It's like a pulled pork slider on a
Oh,
pizza
it is.
crust. I love it.
It is.
I
It's so
love it.
beautiful, and their crust is so good. So we do that once every like 3, 4 weeks. So yeah.
Sounds like you need to do that and not be
Yes.
cooking today.
Yes. I'm happy about pizza tonight. So anyway, let's go ahead and get on with our topic of the week. Our topic of the week, actually, you know what? I skipped all the things. All the things. So
Oh,
now that we're into this
that
for like
thing.
5 minutes, if you
That
are
thing.
watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel so that you are aware of all of our downloads. I have finally gotten a new phone, people, so I am going to be going hot and heavy on making some new tutorial videos for various things. I've got stuff sitting in the wings and I'm just dying to get it out there. And I know that Deb is also starting to do more videos, and so I'm super excited to
Right. So
see what she's
something
going on.
I've just started, which we haven't
Mhm.
talked about yet, is um, and now every time I release a new pattern, and today I released two, um, I am going to be posting a video that talks all about that design, not a
Oh,
tutorial,
nice. Okay.
just tells you all the things so that you don't
Yeah.
walk into it not having any clue about what's in that design. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you can't really tell just by looking at the
Yeah.
pictures.
And I
But
think that's
I'm
really
starting,
helpful.
yeah, and so, I have the first one recorded, I'm putting it all together, hopefully it'll be posted by Monday,
Mhm.
and the second one I'm working on, recording and that sort of thing, so that's a new thing I'm gonna be putting up on my YouTube channel, so we've got all the things going
Well,
on.
that is really cool. I'm super excited to see those. And also, Facebook has changed things for us. We used to be able to stream into our groups, that we're no longer allowed to do that with a third party. And we use something called StreamYard to do our live broadcasting because it brings the two of us together in a nice, simple place. And they're not letting us do that with the groups anymore. We still can with our Facebook pages.
Mhm,
So if you're watching on Facebook, hi. We also would like for you to, if you can, give us permission through StreamYard just to see your name. That's the
mhm.
only thing that we're going to be able to see through that. We don't get any of your extra information. All right, this week's topic, we are going to be talking about reusable crochet.
Mhm.
And is there something that you would like to say about that? I've got a little presentation, but
There you go.
wait, no, I didn't want that up there. Wasn't supposed to be there yet. I was just because okay, anyway. Um,
No, I think the only thing that I would like to say in advance is that, um, in a lot of areas in our lives, we're starting to think about small ways that we can have a positive impact on the environment. Using less of this, using an alternative product that's safe for the environment, all of those kinds of things. But
mhm,
I don't think any of us really pay close attention to what crochet can do for that. And
mm,
that's what I love about this episode today is that we're
mhm,
going to show you some ways that you can use crochet
mhm,
as an alternative for things that are disposable. It
right,
doesn't work for everything, right? But there are things that you can disposable products like paper towels and Swiffer
mhm,
pads and stuff like that
yeah,
that you can toss in the washing machine with your towels
uh-huh,
and use them over and over again. I'm really excited about seeing all the things that you've come up with because I know you have some things and I have some things, and we're
right,
going to share all the reusable stuff that we have in our shops.
right. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add that to our um program today. So what is reusable crochet? That's the big question today.
Mhm.
And how are reusable crochet projects considered different from just regular crochet projects? And the answer to that is reusable crochet projects are made with the intention of replacing a disposable item in your home and daily life. So it's not just a tagline, it's not just a buzzword, it's not just a hashtag. It's meant to do something. It has a purpose.
Mhm.
Reusable crochet projects are meant to be a replacement, not just and I know a lot of people do, oh well, I use this and I use that and for my makeup, I sometimes use cotton balls or I sometimes use cotton pads or sometimes I use my crochet pads and like no judgment, use what makes you happy. But if you are looking for ways to change what you're doing, these are going to be some good options for you. All right, we're going to talk first about everyday household. We've got quite a few panels of this, but I'm just going to talk about what I have here. I do a lot of kitchen scrubbies, and like this is the lemon. It's just small
Mhm.
hand size, and you can use it as a scrubber in your house. And you can use it in your bathroom. A lot of people like to do stuff decoratively and things like that. Sure, you can absolutely do that, but like Swiffer pads. And so everything that we've got here, you can either find on Madam Stitch, anything that Deb has is on Madam Stitch, and everything that I have is linked in the link that I put in the chat at the beginning. So you can find those there. But we were gonna make
Now,
Swiffer pads. Did you make a Swiffer pad?
we okay, I'm not gonna get up and get it, but right over here is my Swiffer with the intention of creating one. But, releasing 2 patterns in one day does not leave you any time
No.
to design something from scratch. So, no, but it is on my to-do list because behind me, I have plenty of cotton yarn that would be
Yes.
perfect for that, right? And we use our Swiffer a lot.
Yeah, and
So
it's so
that's
great for
yep,
scraps.
yep, it is. Yeah, and that's one thing I thought that might be a good time right now to talk about, or as we get further on into the presentation.
Uh-huh.
We've talked about, yes, these are things that you can use to replace things that are disposable or that you use all the time. But
Mhm.
think about what you use to make these as well, right? This is another way to kind of do double duty.
Yes, for
When
sure.
we get to my household stuff, you'll see some things that may not necessarily be replacing a disposable item, but they
Mhm.
are fabulous for using up yarn scraps. And
Yes.
having going through the process of organizing my yarn, I now have a really good idea of all of these things that I have to use,
Mhm.
and I'm shopping my stash, okay?
Yeah, that's
So,
perfect. I love that.
like your lemon both of these things, your lemon scrubbies and the scrubbies
Uh-huh.
on the left are great for scrap yarn.
So the one on the left is called a tawashi. Um,
Oh.
and that yeah, I know. It's a Japanese thing actually. And what the way that you make it, you crochet it in an angle and then you just bring your ends together. It naturally twists and then you just pop a couple of stitches in the middle to hold it together. And it's so great for using up your stash because as you can see, I used all of only stash. I only used scraps and I just used like the little bitty balls that you see behind it because if you
Mhm.
just change it over like every 2 rows, you can create this fun little spiral. And it's been one of the things like, how sometimes you just share a project and people, you know, either love it or they hate it, whatever. This was one of those ones that people just lost their minds over. They're like, "Oh my god, that is the cutest thing ever." And
Alright, now what do you use that for?
that
What's
is
its
I use it
specific
you can use
purpose?
it as a kitchen scrubber,
Okay.
like on your dishes because it's worked in the back loop only. So it creates ridges, which creates scrubbing power. And if you're
Mhm.
using it on things like nonstick pans or glasses or things that can't take any kind of rough scratching, and that's one of the reasons why I've kind of switched over to mostly um, cotton ones and not the ones that you buy from the store, but ones that I
Mhm.
hand make is because they're a little bit more gentle on my dishes that need it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry. I got distracted. Janet from Massachusetts. Hi, just saying hi. We've been talking with everybody else, but I don't have time to type at the moment, and that's the only reason why
Oh,
I'm
I will
shouting
do
out there.
that. I'll do that.
And Dawn says she's made Swiffer and soap sacks. Those are actually some things that we are going to be talking about
Mhm.
coming up here too.
Yep.
These are just a couple more of my projects. All of my stuff is made with like small balls of cotton yarn just because it's usually what I have laying around. And when I feel the want to make something, I just grab whatever I have in hand. So, the ones on the left, those are the snowflakes dishcloth that I just put out in January.
Oh,
The
I like
second
that
one
one.
the second one is a funky spike stitch, and that one's called the chicken scratch. And it's great for using multiple colors because the stitch falls on top of the other color and it just makes everything stick out so nice. And then this one on the right is called Sunshine and Snowflakes. That was not this January, but last January's dishcloth. I participated with Michelle from
Mhm.
Two Brothers in her crochet along thing. So those were the two that I designed for that. And then Miss Debbie here has some awesome everyday households that she's going to share with us.
Right, so I do a lot of washcloths, design a lot of washcloths because I think it's a fabulous way for you to learn new stitches. So, I'm trying to think what I did. Oh, the one on the left, which I think is called the Wedgwood, it's actually a checkerboard, um, pattern.
Oh,
So you do 5
I
single
can see it
crochet,
in
5
there.
double crochet, but then on the next row you work the single crochets and the double crochets and the opposite for the
Sure,
double
sure.
crochets. And it creates that without altering the height of the stitches in a row, it creates this fun kind of checkerboard pattern.
I like that.
And then the middle one is actually a spa set that I have. I think that might be the towel. You can also use scraps. I did stripes. You can do all kinds of different things for hand towels, and they're really soft to use. And then I added the one on the right because I this is just so much fun. The cardboard. Uh,
Yes,
what do they call it? The card.
sleeves.
Thank you. The cardboard sleeves that you get when you're out and about, can be substituted for the sleeve that I created there, plus
Mhm.
coasters
Yep.
and the mug hug. So those kinds of things are good for everyday use. That's kind of
Yeah.
what I do in my designs.
Those are great. And I'm glad that you brought up the mug hug and the coffee sleeve because that was actually something that I was thinking about before too. And there's a few things that we don't have on here that we are going to talk about that you can use for summertime and stuff like that. But these sleeves you can carry with in your
Mhm.
purse, whatever. They work as well for the hot as they do the cold.
They do.
So yeah, they're great things to keep with you. And then here's a few more. Oh, I love that you put in the pot holders.
I love pot holders. I mean, obviously, I use them all the time, but these,
Us too.
you don't throw your pot holders away. But
Mm.
Um, the one on the left is called the Happy Scrappy pot holder. I know both of us use Happy Scrappy because it's just such a
It's
great
so
name,
simple.
right?
There's so many of
Such
us
a
out there
great
that
name,
yeah.
right? And the middle one is what I released today. It's part of the Sunny Day collection. Now I did it in one
Fun.
color, but again, squares, anything that's square, round, or row, whatever,
Yes.
you could start a new color anywhere in there and make that out of lots of different colors and just have it be your happy, scrappy, sunny day pot holder.
Yes,
And
definitely.
then I know both of us have these in our shops.
Yeah.
The double thick pot holders that you make in the round and then you fold it a certain way so that it creates a diagonal pattern.
My
And
grandma always called them a magic square.
there you go. And I know I got this from my grandma too, so it must have been a grandma thing. But these,
Definitely.
again, you could just start, you can have a little sliver of yarn and pop that sucker in the
Yep.
middle of that pot holder and have just a fun, unique pot holder Those I use as stocking stuffers because my kids just love these pot holders on the right.
Yes. I'm making those all the time because every once in a while, not I shouldn't say every once in a while, about once a year, both the moms will hit me up and they'll be like, "Hey, what have you got for dishcloths and pot holders and stuff?" Because they're, using they're using everything up, which,
Yep.
for the longest time, I had dishcloths that I never like, how do people, wear these out until we got a new set of knives? And
Huh.
I don't know what is with these knives, but the edge must be so sharp, it's just, like, severing the yarn. So I have to make a whole new batch of them now because it just keeps stripping. So those are the only things that I keep my old store-bought, um, dish rags around for, is to wash the knives because I don't care if those things come apart, but
Right.
I don't want my handmade ones to keep coming apart.
No.
So all right. So everyday bath and body. These were a few of the things that I was talking about. This one on the left is also called a tawashi. I think that
Oh,
tawashi has more to do with the shape than it does the
gotcha.
actual like item itself. This one's called a flower tawashi, and that is also linked in the link that's in the chat. The reusable cotton rounds, I've seen a lot of people make these.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest, I cannot oops, didn't mean to do that. I can't remember the person that I got these from, but it is linked in that blog post. But these are really convenient, especially if you like to clean your face with the little cotton rounds that are, so big. These are far more friendly to the environment because you can just wash them and use them again. And you get to control how much chemicals are
Mhm.
in those because we think that everything, oh, it's 100% pure cotton. I'm sorry, but if it's going through a factory, something's been done to it. So,
I was thinking, Biz, what really would be cool, because I've seen this done with coasters.
mm,
You can do the same thing with, these, scrubbies,
yeah.
is make a little crochet basket out of your
Uh-huh.
scraps and use that to store them on your countertop so they don't just get thrown in a drawer. They're
Yes.
actually out for display, so they add a decorative element to your bathroom as well.
Yes, they can be super cute. And then the one on the right is soap saver. That's my only soap saver bag that I've ever designed is that one. And it's done working in the third loop of the half double crochet all the way through. It just creates a nice little squishy texture to it. And they're really great, especially if you like to use handmade soaps that like to break
Mhm.
down. If you are a bar soap user, that's the way to go because then you can keep that little sliver that keeps
Yeah.
or you can take a bunch of those little slivers if you've been saving them up and just stick
There
them
you
all
go.
in a soap saver bag.
Absolutely.
But I noticed you also have some soap saver stuff.
I do. I mean, one of the first things that, I designed this, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, these, scrubbies on the left, they basically just use, front post stitches and bobbles to
Uh-huh.
get the surface texture so that you have a little bit more, scrubbability with
Right.
those. The middle one is a spa set because help the environment, but you also want to treat yourself nicely. So there's a washcloth,
Absolutely.
a soap cozy, and a face scrubby. And then, of course, another washcloth as well. I think that might be the seed stitch, which I think is just a wonderful stitch to use,
Because
and
it's
very
such a
durable.
yeah, and the seed stitch has got a nice little nub to it so
Mhm.
that it's not ripping your face off, but you're still getting some exfoliation.
Well, we really don't want that right before we go to
No,
bed.
definitely not. And I'm not sure if this is the last slide, but it is. Okay.
Ooh.
So here's today's last slide. And I know that not everybody loves it, but it intrigues me because I myself do not use store bought feminine hygiene items because my body does not react well with the chemicals that are in them. And I'm not willing to spend the bazillions of dollars that it takes to buy the all cotton ones. So, I'm a very big fan of homemade feminine hygiene items because they can be washed and used again, and they help. Uh, Now, of course, you have to figure out if it works for you or not. If you're the kind of person who needs extra, then this might not be for you. But for those that don't need lots and lots, then this is a nice way of continuing to not add to the garbage.
Mhm.
But I wanted to talk about those just because I think they are interesting, and it's another great way to use up all those little bitty scraps.
And we just don't think about it, do we?
No, we
It
don't.
we just really don't consider how big of an impact that has on the landfill.
Okay, and so this is gonna sound kind of gross, but it's the same equivalence of disposable diapers for babies.
Mhm.
It just is.
Yeah.
It's still a biohazard product once we're done with it. You know what I mean? So, all right. But anyway, let's talk about funner things. Funner. Um, so if you're making some stuff for your kids over this summer, and I forgot to add this stuff to the presentation, but some things that are really, really great for kids over the summer is things like reusable water balloons. And those are made with that blanket yarn because it
Ooh,
absorbs.
yeah.
Yeah, and it all you gotta do is just hang them out to dry when you're done. And you get to use them over and over again instead of having little plastic pieces that birds can pick up or other little animals can
Mhm.
eat, or that just ends up in your yard and you've got, plastic building up in your yard. You can use these. Yes, you're still running through water, but I mean, who isn't turning on their sprinkler and running through the water sometimes?
Right.
So you have to use wisdom there as with all things. Or you can do it at the lake and use the water there for free.
There you go.
There you go. And then some other things, if you think about the what are those called? Freeze pops. The freeze
Oh, yeah,
pops,
yeah.
you can make little holders for those because anything that you would use like a paper towel to put around
Mhm.
something to protect your hand from either condensation or cold, you can make a wrapper for that you can use
Right.
again and again and again and again.
Man, I wish I'd had that. My kids lived and breathed freeze pops in the
Oh, I
summertime
know
when they were
it.
growing up. So I wish I had thought of that. That was not top of mind when my kids were growing up. It was
No, I
basically keeping
know.
them alive and keeping them out of my hair. So
Yes.
it
We were
was
they were lucky. They were lucky. Anyway, but the other thing that you could do is like for ice cream.
Mhm.
Instead of using paper towel to wrap your pint of ice cream that you're about to sit down and consume, make a little pint holder. I don't know what is wrong with my nose, but it just is filling up so fast right now. And I sound all stuffy and I can't breathe. Anyway, um, I am obsessed with pint covers for my ice cream because Tony will snarf through a whole one, but I only eat a portion of mine. So I have to put it back in the freezer. Well, while I'm holding onto it, I don't want my fingers to freeze. I don't want the
Mhm.
condensation. I don't want my hands to make it melt. All of these things. I don't want it, to get my shirt wet, whatever. Those cozies are the best.
And yours are super cute. So
Oh,
they
well,
need to
thanks.
check them out in your shop.
Yeah, they're fun. The other thing too, who here drinks from ball jars in the summer? Has iced tea,
Yeah. Yep.
lemonade, mint
Mhm.
tea, whatever. You're having a fun summer party. You can make ball jar covers that will also do
Mhm.
the same thing. It protects your hands,
Yep.
protects the table, absorbs that condensation. These are all just really fun ways that kind of keeps the paper products from being used up and allows us to create fun things, use up our scraps, and decorate, because it's also
And
decorative.
make a matching coaster to put under it when you have to set it down.
Yes. Yes, exactly. I mean, there's so many reasons. And as long as you're, as long as we're not just throwing okay, so I'm gonna should I or shouldn't I? All
Uh-oh.
right, so I'm gonna go there just because
Okay.
we decided that we were going to talk about the hard things when we started this podcast, and I'm springing this
Mhm.
on Debbie, so she knows nothing of it.
Oh my goodness! If you see me leave, no, I'm kidding.
She just like
Well,
disappears. See ya. Um, but I've been a part of a crochet group on Facebook that does it's called Random Acts of Crochet Kindness. There's several of them. Um, and I love the intention behind that. I love the thought of giving something bright to someone to cheer them up, that kind of stuff. A lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, I've seen a few people where they just make enormous amounts of these little whatevers, flowers, this, that, or the other. And they randomly leave them everywhere they go,
mhm.
usually in a plastic bag or whatever. And like I said, I love the intention behind it. However, you're just leaving a little piece of garbage until somebody finds it. And what if nobody ever finds it? Then you've just put a little piece of garbage on the ground.
Mm.
I know. And it sucks, doesn't it? Because like I want to
Right?
say, yes, go make people happy, do the thing, but maybe, maybe less leaving it laying around, hoping somebody's going to find it,
And
and
actually
more
giving it to some, yeah,
walking up to people and say, here, I want to give
right.
this to you because
Well,
you look like you need a smile.
yeah, and the part of me that cringes when you talk about that is the plastic bag it's in.
Yeah, that
Um,
too.
that's just, I mean, if you make a lot of them, that's a lot of plastic bags that are
Yeah.
used for nothing except conveying that
Yep.
particular item. No,
Yeah.
I happen to agree with you. I think the intent is fantastic, and we
I
should
love it.
all be finding opportunities to share random acts of kindness. But I
Mhm.
also have to agree with you that perhaps instead of just leaving it there, it would be better to actually hand it to some. They can refuse it if they
Yeah.
don't want it. That's fine.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the rejection part of it that people are afraid of. But
Mhm.
I do agree with you that that personal connection is a little bit
Yeah.
better for the environment and for us personally.
I really understand the heart behind it. I applaud
Mhm.
and I love the heart behind it because I'm a giver. I'm the kind of person I just want to give everything away,
Yeah.
and so I get it. But, with us having taken on this subject for this month and really stopping to think about everything that we're doing, everything that our hands are touching, what are we doing that's adding to or taking away from our
Yeah.
environment?
Yeah, and that's a hard concept to grasp. I think about my husband who uses, I can't quite seem to get through to him that every sliver of paper towel that he uses is another contribution. Well, it's just one. Well, it's one that you contribute every week.
Mhm,
So think about the long term and how many times
mhm.
you've contributed a piece of paper towel when in fact you didn't really need that after all. It's just changing your thought process around what you're trying to achieve and how you can do it without wasting
Yeah,
paper towels.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I
yeah.
agree with you. I think the intent, we should always be finding ways to treat our fellow humans with kindness. But crochet, it gives us an opportunity to think about how to do that in an eco-conscious way.
Yeah. And I'm not throwing judgment on anybody. I'm not trying to disparage anybody. And those that are doing it, don't feel like I'm trying to come down on you. I just maybe want you to think about it. Just maybe think of
Mhm.
it differently because I'm not saying I'm perfect. God knows. I use acrylic yarn. I use all the things. I've never said that I don't. but I just want us to start thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the first step.
Alrighty. Um, we've been going longer than 25 minutes. We could
34,
go
and I
30.
have 35. I have one more category that we really, I don't know
Yeah.
why we didn't put it in because I didn't even think about it. Market bags and produce bags. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Oh
Right?
my
Yeah,
gosh.
wow. I don't know about where you all live, but
Uh-huh.
here on the East Coast, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, there's a push to do away with disposable plastic bags, even paper bags, but trying to find alternatives that people bring into the store. And when plastic bags first came on the scene, I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the next greatest thing since
Yes,
sliced
I know.
bread,
I
right?
am too. Yes.
It was great because, man, you could just walk into the grocery store, get your pint of ice cream, and just
Yes.
put it in one little bag, and everybody thought
Yes.
that was great. I still have I've been using reusable bags for years now, and I still have a closet floor filled to 2 feet high with bags
I know
that,
it.
I haven't gotten rid of. But I love in my shop, I have, gosh, I probably have 3 or 4 market bag patterns that are super easy to make up. A couple of them are really not. One is Sunny Day.
Uh-huh.
Couple of them are really stylish. You can take them out to the farmer's market and look great while you're shopping.
Uh-huh.
But they're sturdy. I mean, they hold so much weight, and especially with what you do, Biz, that's reinforcing the straps
Yeah.
so that they don't stretch so much.
Yeah.
Um, it's amazing what cotton yarn will do for you, and what weight it will hold and how durable it is. You can
Yes.
toss it in with the towels again. Um, but we didn't talk about the market bags and the produce bags, and I highly recommend that those plastic bags be a part of your past rather than your present,
Yeah.
and get those hooks out. And again, mine you can use your scrap yarn, and make a really unique market bag.
Yeah. I only have 2 bag patterns just because it's not where I should say market bags. One of them is more of a beach theme, and one of them is more of like a fall market bag theme.
Mhm.
But I'm a real big fan of using different kinds of mediums to crochet with. And so the one that I just put out this last year has crocheted panels on the side, but the handles are made out of macrame cord that
Mhm.
just really thin stuff. And I crocheted the handle and the siding, and it adds so much stability to,
Yep.
because the thing that I hate the most is a sagging handle. It's just, I have made so many of these bags where the handles are like you can just put your hand in them. Well, that's
Yeah.
great, except that the bag literally is dragging on the floor behind me because it stretches out
Okay.
so bad.
Fun story. I did a single crochet bag, just a flat circle that, then you stop increasing. And I put a wide single crochet border on it. And I thought I was being super smart by putting a border of single crochet around it to keep it from stretching. So, and I gave it to my daughter-in-law. They use it with the kids all the time to carry video games and all of this heavy stuff. And
Uh-huh.
that sucker never breaks, but now the bag hangs to the floor. It looks, I mean, they're not getting rid of it because it's a great bag,
Yes.
but that handle just, it's as
You
tall
could
as
fit
the
it
boys.
crossbody though.
Yeah, there you go.
I know.
I don't
I made
think
my
the
daughter
boys
one
want
on
to do
purpose.
that, but
I made my daughter one on purpose that was a crossbody bag. I feel like if she really truly uses it for a market bag the way that she has intended to, she's going to be, the hipster girl that has the bag that's like banging off of her knees because it's just gonna stretch so
yes.
far.
So
So
we all
bad.
need to learn from you about how to reinforce those, but the bag itself just is indestructible. So I highly
Yes.
recommend.
Wonderful. Yeah, they are
Um,
so great.
oh, Dawn says cotton and plastic covered. Um, uh, what does that say? I've got a
Cool, I
thing
think
in the
is
way.
well,
Cool, yeah.
she had also said that I saw someone cover their bag with yarn, very cool.
Mhm,
And that's another really nice way too, like, if you wanna bring your craft out into the open, but you want that stability on the inside, you can definitely cover and there are, I know that I've seen more so in the smaller ones than the larger ones, but, like, the little zippered bags where it's like a linen or a cotton or something like that,
mhm,
people have made outside pieces and then just used a fabric glue to glue it on there so that
mhm.
they don't have to deal with putting
Right.
that zipper in place, but now they've got this cute little zippered lined bag with their crochet on the outside.
I think, and I've not done any research on this, but I think that on a marketplace like Amazon, you can find pre-made zippered liners
Mhm.
that all you have to do is make the outside, which is actually not a bad idea.
No, I know my brain is going again. We've gotta stop that.
Well,
Don't
we were
make
gonna
my
do
brain
Swiffer
go.
pads for this week. Next
I
week, we're
know.
gonna have we're gonna have no, I
Terrible.
honestly don't have the time
I
this
just
week, but
don't. I just don't have the time.
it's
No.
definitely well, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been writing things down. It's like
Yes,
this
yes.
summer I'm gonna make a
I
ball
know.
jar cover and a matching coaster. So, woo!
Yes, they're so fun, and I love those ball jar covers because 'cause they're so easy to work up,
Yep,
and they're fast, and I love putting my ball jars in them because it makes my ice last a little bit longer
yep.
and, just hold it acts like a little thermos.
And they're so pretty.
They
They're
are, they're
so
just
pretty.
cute, and they dress up a
Okay.
table.
So now we've talked about
Yes.
we added our market bags, then I think we've covered what we figured out. Let's see. I'm looking at my list. I think we covered it.
I
We
think we
did.
did. So, oh my goodness, yes, but yeah, there's lots of really quite honestly, anything can be reusable when you're talking about crochet and not to flippantly say, well, I mean, I wash my blankets and they're reusable. Of course, yes, we know that. That's not really what we're talking about. Reusable crochet just means like going back to the beginning where we said it replaces something that you would normally dispose on a
Right.
regular basis.
Yes.
So that's why we're heading towards that reusable um, theme. But other than that, I don't have anything extra to add. I think that this month we've talked about yarn, we've talked about dyeing techniques, we've talked about
Yep.
eco-friendliness of crochet, being conscious of our eco impact and that kind of stuff. So I hope that we've given you guys some good information.
Yeah. Same.
So other than that, I guess we're just gonna move on. What have you been watching this week?
I feel like I'm
If
a
you've
broken
had any
record
time.
at this point. Um, yeah, I mean, I am a routine person. I do go outside my routine on a regular basis, but what keeps me kind of sane is having the same blocks of time
Yes.
each day that I do kind of the same thing. Now,
Yes.
going to a little league baseball game on a weeknight kind of interrupts that routine a little bit, but that's okay because I take my if you watch my Instagram feed, you see that I
Yeah,
crochet at baseball games. So this is
absolutely.
yeah. But the broken record is that thankfully right now, because we watch so much network TV, it is new stuff. So we're not running out of things to watch. One thing I will say that I've been watching with my daughter,
Yeah.
which I absolutely love and thought I would hate it, because you know me, I'm not a reality TV person, right? But she got me
Yeah.
hooked on the UK version of Traders, and it is crazy. I know, right?
I love
It's
traders.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not watching the US version. I love Alan Cumming, but um, the way my daughter explains it, she's watched both of them. She said the US version uses celebrities as the contestants,
Yeah,
and the
mostly.
UK version uses just regular old people. And I'm telling you what, trying to watching the traders try to fool everybody One of them, the episode I just watched, he is dangerously close to getting his little butt kicked off
That's
because
so
he's
funny.
being just a little bit too cocky, right? But
Yes.
I love the challenges they do. We
Yes.
were convinced that my husband wouldn't like it, so we tried to watch it without him around, and he sat down and we kind of read him the riot act and said, "You will sit here and not make comments." I
Yeah.
swear after that episode, he was hooked, asking
Yes.
questions. How does this work? What do they do
Yes.
for that? And now he watches it with us. It's so
It's so
cool.
funny. I love that
Yeah.
show because the way that you described it is really good. It's just everyday people put in a
Mhm.
situation where now they are all trying to act like they're all good guys, but there's a few of them
Yeah.
that aren't. And it's this anticipation, like, are they gonna figure it out? So if you like those, if you like the UK one, and if you like craziness, you're gonna love the Australia and the New Zealand versions. They're both
That
really, really good.
really, there are more?
Yes! Yes, I know they just keep coming out. I'm not sure if they're gonna continue making more in more countries or if I just haven't found them yet. But yes, Australia has 2 seasons, and I think New Zealand just has 1. Could be I could
And
be
where
wrong,
do we find these?
we watch it on Peacock.
You've got to be kidding me. This is
No,
not good. This is not good news.
I
I
know,
mean,
but,
it's good news, but not
it's innocent fun. It's not one of those things because they're all okay, so the British are exceedingly kind to each other, like, they go out of their way to be as squishy nice as they can possibly
I
be,
love that.
and it's
We
very fun. It's so different than the Americans, like, the Americans are cutthroat right from the second.
yeah.
But the Australians are they're just a whole different ball game. Like, they are really out there, like, their personalities are all very, very big. They're funny. They're, both sarcastic, very nice. I mean, like, they just don't take any hoo off of anybody, and they all say what they feel, and nobody like, even if they get their feelings hurt, everybody kinda moves past it. It's not like the Americans where they're like, "Ah!" You just destroyed me. I can't believe you acted like that. I can't believe it. We're all here for the same thing, but I can't believe you acted like that.
Oh, we Americans,
Aren't we
we're so
something?
touchy.
We're just the joy. But yeah, so the New Zealand one is every bit as much fun as the Australian one.
So what are you watching?
Oh gosh. So some of that. We've been doing the New
Good.
Zealand because we've run through all of the others and we're like at we've actually caught up to the New Zealand season, which irritates me to no end.
Oh,
'Cause I like to watch, 2 or 3 episodes at a time. So I can't do that anymore. We're waiting for the next one. But we are also, Trash Reality TV, we are doing Deal or No Deal Island, and we just caught up with that one last night. That one's another one that's pretty okay. But for my TV watching, I have my daughter has Max, and she signed me into her account, which was
oh,
probably a really bad idea.
oh,
Because
see,
I've been
wow.
living there, and I've been watching True Detectives, which, I didn't know. It had been getting advertised so much, and I saw Jodie Foster in it, and I'm like, "Okay, well, eh." But I didn't realize that there were 4 seasons of it, and every season uses different stars. So the first season has Matthew McConaughey and, dadgum, I cannot remember his name. And another guy who's very famous, and okay, so if you don't like swearing, don't watch this show. If you can breeze past the swearing, this show is amazing. Like, so well written.
Wow.
Yes, it's crazy.
Down the Max rabbit hole. I
Oh,
hear it.
yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm living now. But I've got so many projects that I have to work on, like, I get my little bit of boy, all of a sudden I realize we're just jimmer jammer in here. I get my little bit of office stuff done in the morning, and
Mhm.
I have to head to the living room to start work because I've got the I've got a lot going on that way.
Yeah, you do.
So, I don't know how I'm gonna keep up.
You'll do it, Biz. I have
I
faith.
know. Where there's no choice, there's no problem. But other than that, so, I can't think of anything else that I wanna add today. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
No, but I will say I've had a lot of fun and researching um, eco-conscious, eco-friendly
Yeah,
crochet because I
yeah,
honestly had really never thought a lot about it. And I'm so
yeah,
glad that we've been able to share this series. I know that in the future, we'll probably add some things to this series, but
mm,
I just think it's valuable information that everyone should be aware of just so that you
definitely.
can make informed decisions. Yeah, I've had a
Yes.
lot of fun with this series.
Oh, me too, and I wanted to say that everybody make sure that you're here next week because we are celebrating a year. Next
I
Friday is a year.
cannot believe it. I cannot
I
believe it.
know.
We're gonna I think what we're gonna tell you the story of how we got started, how
Uh-huh.
we came about our name, and we've got some fun things planned. We still have to sort of flesh everything out, but
Yep.
man, do not miss next week 'cause it's gonna be a load of
Yeah.
fun. Load
And
of
the month
fun.
of May is gonna be, several different tributes. We're going to have
Mhm.
some very light sessions. It's not gonna be all deep and dark and eco and scaring you and, "Oh my god, there's a nuclear war happening," or anything like that. So, it's just gonna be nice and light and fun, and we're gonna have fun. So, I hope you guys join us for sure next week and next
Yep,
month.
for sure. Yep,
For
and
sure.
next month, lots of fun things coming up. I'm very excited.
Yes,
Mhm.
me too. Alrighty, so you guys have an amazing weekend. We're gonna sign off now, and I hope that you enjoyed your time with us. I know that we enjoyed our time with you. Thank you for staying to the end, you troopers.
Yay!
All right, we'll talk with you later.
Bye, everybody.